There is a magical operation of maximum importance. The initiation of a new aeon. When it becomes necessary to utter a word, the whole planet must be bathed in blood.
Ah, yes. Welcome to Deadhaus Whispers.
Greetings, everyone. I am Calypso, back at it again with another episode of Deadhaus Whispers. And as always, I am joined by my other host, Faceless Mike.
Greetings, hello, and welcome. And Mike's still trying to figure out how to set up the back end, so bear with me a moment.
So on today's episode, we are going to be talking about the most recent Deadhaus Sonata streams that we went through, as well as the radio drama that just dropped yesterday, as of this stream anyway, the 4th of January. The 4th of January of Nightmares is what our primary discussion will be, as well as the new little tidbit of gameplay that was revealed as well on another stream with Dennis talking over it and everything. You guys can find that all on the Deadhaus Sonata YouTube, and obviously the websites if you go to all of that. It'll be good times.
And as you're saying, Calypso, this is episode 1 of season 4.
Yes. Welcome to a new season, everybody. Season 4. We decided, instead of doing it like 10 episodes at a time like we normally do, maybe 12, we're just going to be doing it yearly now. So this year is season 4. And then next year will be season 5, etc., etc., etc. Figure it would be easier to remember, especially with the editing process, what episode or what season we're on. So I just know that we're on season 4 now, and this is episode 1.
It's a case of where are we and what are we doing?
Yes. Where are we and what are we doing?
But anyway, the other side is, as well as the bit of news, because I don't know how many people may have seen it. If not, you all should have seen it. Deadhaus will not be releasing the first stage. That was a key point. The first stage in 2023, which some people might be disappointed at. I understand the disappointment, but it's for good reason, because we don't want another scenario of like many other games being rushed out the door half finished.
Agreed.
So while we do have to wait a little bit, I have a feeling there might be a few surprises coming during the year anyway. So it's not like there'll be no content. Trust me. we'll be getting plenty of content, I can see, for the foreseeable future. It'll just be a case of what and when. And with that, we've got a few of the things to run through. So we have our little lists aside here to make sure our notes are in order, to make sure we know what we're watching and what we're wanting to talk about. And step 1 was to add this little tasty morsel to the bits.
Ta-da! Yes, this is exactly what I just
mentioned. Calypso, tell us about your thoughts.
Okay, my thoughts are, first off, if you are listening to this on Spotify or any other of the podcast audio portions of us, of Deadhaus Whispers, we are overlooking the new gameplay, the like test gameplay of the City of Gelris with the vampire, and it's just a little quick overview that Dennis... Yeah, Victor. I forgot that's right. We named it. That Dennis Dyack did some talking over this, as well as, streaming about it in another episode. You guys can watch all that on the Deadhaus Sonata YouTube. Just Google it or just YouTube it and you'll find it. Trust me, it'll pop up. But personally, I think that this looks amazing. I think the lighting looks fantastic. I love all the parkour-ish elements of this that's going on. I think, the animations are great. I think the armor looks fantastic. I know that, to paraphrase Dennis, like none of this is really like polished or toned up. It's just a quick thing to get out there of what it would look like, and obviously with more polish.
I could foresee, though, because what's being planned going forward is the noblesse, as Dennis calls it. So it'll be similar to like what there's the harbingers at the moment, where you've got the more active members of the community, that anyone that's basically active on the Discord and on the socials and whatnot can be selected to participate in small limited time like demos for feedback sessions and all. I could see an updated version of this part of Gelris being released to people as kind of a demo, so that they could, try it out for themselves. That I could see this happening.
Me too. I can see
So
this too. And there's
some
a
of
little
you
wall
might
run. I
get a
love the
chance.
wall run. Yeah, some of you might get a
It needs a
chance.
bit of work. Needs a bit of work.
Yeah. Yeah. Some of you might get a chance. And that's the thing. Like if you are wanting to get into that house or join the community or wanting to be a part of it, feel free, jump in, join the Discord, do the whole shebang, and you might get a chance to, test this demo out, get
Oh,
access to other things.
seems to want to show me there. I can't put this on
Yeah.
a loop. So, oh no, I can have it on loop. Okay.
Oh, good to know.
This is all new toys to me. So yay.
So yeah, just once again, go to deadhausesonata.com for all your Deadhaus Sonata needs. But yeah, I think this looks great. I love the lighting. I know I asked you if it was like, I thought this was RTX, this ray tracing thing, because that's the new kick right now within the industry. Everything's got to be ray tracing. There has to be ray
I'm not
tracing in all these
100% sure, to
games.
be honest. I do know there's like God rays and stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm not too sure. I am not tech minded. I have
Mhm.
sat in on meetings and things have been explained to me, and a lot of it is because there's
Yeah.
a lot of tech goes in. I understand the end product and what alternating all these million things resulted in the game, but there's I don't think people even realize how much work goes into just putting up a demo like this, just like
Mhm.
this area to be shown off of the things. Like there's a load of things people missed that I was trying to show off with Dennis and Colton on the live stream in this. Now you won't see it too much in this demo. Maybe if you look back, if you look at the bunting up there and all, that moves in the wind. Like they're
That's
all
cool.
like blowing and stuff. And if you can walk around, there's a bit where like if you watch the live stream, I go up the stairs. There's like clothes hanging out to dry. They
Mhm.
move.
Yeah, that's
The
cool.
tent fabric moves by itself. There's also like crows and stuff that you can hear in the background cawing. You'll see their shadows on the ground and whatnot. So there is like live animals there. Like as opposed, the way this is so beautifully done, this doesn't feel like, oh, look, here's just an empty bit of scenery. This legitimately feels like it's a town, but everyone's asleep.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah,
it
I dig
looks
it.
and feels lived in.
Mhm. And it's just the little details like that that really like flesh a world out. And
Yeah.
like the environment has a lot to do with it. The lighting, even though it's there partly for showing off the lighting, it's also like, a gameplay choice or an environmental storytelling choice of, people lit these lamps and everyone's inside because maybe they know there's a vampire roaming around at night.
Like the amount of work that goes in, like I know I reiterate, but I'm going to bang on this drum till the end, that people don't realize of all the little things, like the sound difference between walking on the gravel versus the
Mhm.
cobbles and the wood, to like every one of those little pieces of fruit. There's a stand with fruit and there's a stand with like meats and sausages and stuff like that, and other ones of fish. All of these things have to be created. Like there's a lot of work in this. Most of these guys, they don't do like buy a mountain of asset packs. Like a lot of this is specifically created for Deadhaus because it's its own world. It's not like normal Earth. So everything has to be its own unique thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's so much work put into this.
I love like the parkour stuff. Is there button presses for that or is it automatic?
At the moment, no. At the moment, no. You're just able to like run up to that stuff and he'll vault over it and he'll go under it. Now, I don't know whether there's been decisions made about whether there's going to be like a contextual action button or whether this will stay automatic. Again, this is still all early in
Mhm.
development side.
Yeah.
I could see some of the traversal being automatic because it would just make it easier if you're running.
Yeah.
But I don't know. There might be a contextual action button that you like hold down that will make you like vault and jump, like leap over stuff, or
Yeah.
do the power slide
Like, see,
underneath. By
that's
the
really
way,
cool. Like,
yeah.
that's probably one of my favorite moves right there is the just vaulting over and
Oh,
like
mine's the
popping
slide under the
down.
cart. Mine's
Oh
the
yeah,
part that
slide under the
slide.
cart's pretty cool too.
That's just awesome. Like the traversal bit. When you get all of these, that'll be like more polished up. Obviously, as the game comes along, that'll be done well. Like the wall run, the jump, all these things. I think it'll look
Yeah.
incredible.
Oh, definitely. Definitely. I think I don't know if there's well, speaking of other characters, I suppose it's like vampires could probably wall run. I don't know if any other other characters might have their own unique traversal
Hmm.
things.
Oh, of course. Like you'd be astounded if the ghoul doesn't have like a more active version of a wall
Yeah.
run. I could
Yeah.
see the
Like
ghoul behaving something like Spider-Man or something.
yeah, crawling up walls and being
Yeah.
creepy and Being creepy is the contextual ability as well. But no, this is cool. I think like that right there, that little intro of just slowly walking into the center of the city. It's you don't think much of it, but you can easily throw a story in there of this vampire is just walking around the city looking for something, and he slowly walks into the town, and then you have all of and then stuff unfolds from there. It's something so simple yet effective. Like just walking through like a musty hallway or something, or
But
a dark alley.
this will be the beginning of it, because anyone that knows the stuff can delve into a bit more about the lore of Gelrus.
Mm-hmm.
So there's that there. So this is the foundations of what we're going to see going forward. You will start to see the game in proper, because I know there was complaints about. Yeah, I know, right? That stood out to me majorly.
I love the moons.
Like people complained about the combat demo, which I still don't understand. People are like, "Oh, it's just a combat demo." It's like, it's what do you want? Like, game takes a while to make. I think people are far too used to seeing a game. When a company says, "Oh, guys, pre-order now for the beta," and they get to play the beta, and then the game comes out in 6 months. It's like, that game was finished.
Oh yeah.
Like, that was completely finished. You're not playing a beta. You're playing like network testing. Like, they've already even bug squashed by that point. You're not beta testing at all. So I don't think people have like a legitimate version of what.
No, they don't.
Of what like game development looks like, because it takes a long time.
Oh yeah, no, and that's what I like. This whole process, especially for Deadhaus, because I think it's one of the rare times we as a community and just the general public get to see what development is like from the very beginning all the way up to early access release or pre-alpha release or beta testing releases and full release and stuff. Like, we get to see that, and we've seen that so far for the past 3 years now.
Yep.
Right. So that's insane. And no other company on the planet, all the big AAA studios, like, you'll never see this from Rockstar. You'll never see this from CD Projekt Red, who make like the Witcher games. Like, you'll never see that.
For my money, from my experience, because I've been around the block quite a bit at this stage, they seem to all have at least the 6-month rule, where they will not show you much of anything until it's usually within 6 months of release.
Yeah.
Usually, that's for the most part. Pre-rendered trailers and cutscenes don't count.
Yeah. Oh yeah, exactly.
The E3 hype, that don't count. But like this is showing it warts and all of how long it takes. If you're like, "Oh, it's taking too long," it's
look at the GTA 6 leak. Look at the GTA 6 leak. Like, that was the building blocks. That was like just taking Lego pieces and throwing it on there.
That's
GTA
just getting
6,
the that's just getting out. That's just getting the physics right.
Yeah,
and like checking
people
that,
were
like,
freaking out.
Okay, this person goes to this thingy and accepts the quest and then picks up the item and goes to B. And does this all work without everything just crapping the bed and crashing? It's like making sure this works and tweaking what needs tweaking. People are like, that looks trash. It's like, a lot of you have really weird expectations.
Yeah, no, because they expect instant quality right off the bat, and nobody's used to it. So
and no one's even pointed out this is Unity, dude.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No,
Most
Unity has come a long way, man.
Expected anything like this from Unity.
I didn't expect this from Unity at all until I actually got into Unity and started messing with it. I was like, okay, well, I know Unity is the indie dev engine, right? It's cheap to export your projects. You don't have to pay them a lot once you get like a full release. It's really good at doing like low poly PlayStation 1 stuff. Right. You can kind of do anything with Unity, and it's like, it's easy to, well, I wouldn't say it's easy to program, because programming is not easy, but it's you can pick it up and the learning curve isn't that difficult. And then you can start putting out things or, working on something, right?
The way I'd describe
this is crazy. No, this is just crazy. This is what the high definition version of Unity or something.
The way I would give the analogy, to dumb it down a little for people, because I don't understand the technicalities very well myself, is Unity is like a chef's knife, and Unreal is like that person in the kitchen that has all the tools, the mandolin, the chopper, all these different things. So with Unreal, you've all these tools to do all this really technical stuff really quickly and easy without much effort or skill. Whereas Unity, you can do all of that. It takes a little bit of work, but like chef's knife, you can do everything with that and more if you've got a bit of skill and patience to learn how to do it. That's why I think Unity works better, because Unity is kind of like literally the complete multi-tool in that regard. But now, again, a lot of people will deviate. From what I've gathered, most people will deviate entirely based on where they went to college and what they learned with, what they're more familiar with.
Oh, yeah.
So people are like, well, Unreal's superior just because they don't know any better because they were taught in a particular way, or vice versa, you know?
Yeah.
So like, there is no right and wrong answer. The only thing is, this is in Unity and it's shockingly good. And this isn't even polished.
Yeah.
This is literally,
That's the cool.
Hey
that's
guys,
kind of the cool
here's where
thing.
we are now. You know?
Yeah. Now imagine if we, put some more elbow grease into there. Obviously, it'll look better. It'll play better. It'll probably feel better from a gameplay standpoint, like with a controller or a mouse and keyboard in your hand.
Oh, FYI, I was playing this with a controller.
Yeah,
Just in case anyone asked me.
That's like, maybe that's like another conversation for another time, I guess. But the difference between like controller games and just typical mouse and keyboard for PC anyway, and maybe console too.
There's your divisive argument stream right there.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll give you my opinion though. Here's a general, simple one for me for PC. If it's third person, it's probably a controller. If it's first person, it's almost guaranteed to be WASD and a mouse. So like Doom, mouse and keyboard, Warframe, controller. But that's just me. I'm like, by definition, I've been a PC gamer all my life, but I'm a console baby. So like, I think most of us, bar certain circumstances, were console babies, even if it was a Game Boy, Yeah.
Man, I miss the original Game Boy. Spent so many hours with Mario on that thing.
Funny side statistic, yesterday the Switch outpassed the Game Boy in lifetime sales.
Good job, Switch. Good job.
That's impressive.
Yeah,
That's
it is.
Bloody impressive.
That's way impressive, especially with how long all the variations of a Game Boy have been around. That's crazy. But no, this looks good. I like the little crawling animation that he has. I know it's not perfect, but it's kind of charming in its own way.
It's like the ladder, it's all there. It obviously needs a little tweak and all like that. But the fact that he's a slight little bit goofy makes it more characteristic. I like that.
Yeah, I dig it. I do dig it. Like, I could totally see the wall run being, some super Prince of Persia, like sleek move, like sleek vampire moving, and then I think they should leave in the little quirky like crouching animation just to give the vampire some character.
I'll be weird. A lot of people didn't pick up on it. I liked the whole. You see when he jumped off the top there.
Yeah. Oh,
he jumped off and hit the ground, and there was the mild camera shake to give that like feeling of weight and whatnot from dropping from a distance.
I'll pay attention to it on this loop.
It's just something I really liked. Here, hold on. Let's see. I can skip through this video. I think.
Oh,
yeah. Watch now. Watch when he jumps off the edge here. I only noticed this after I'd done it.
Oh, cool. Yeah, it's a blink and you'll miss it. Yeah.
But that gives way to it, because if you see anything with like vampires or superheroes and they jump and they hit the ground, it's like, boom,
Yeah.
I really enjoy that.
Yeah. And I like the walking animation. I know that's nothing special, but I do like the walking animation.
It's tightly changed and polished from what I can see. Even the armor. That's the same armor from the combat arena.
Yeah, just what properly lit or something and rendered better is like what Dennis said, I think.
Yeah.
Like, I like that there's kind of a heft to the walk, I can hear in my brain, I can hear the clanking of the armor, like that's how like solid, that's how if you have like an all right animation or like an all right look to something, is if you can like, if it's silent, but you can hear it in your brain, like, and that armor is beautiful. Oh, it's so good. That armor is so good, man. And I like the character and everything. It's great. It's great. The slide's really cool too. Yeah.
It's definitely something I think we're going to see more and more of now going forward, because this is the first time that there's been like gameplay outside of the combat arena shown.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
we done a little bit of the inside of one of the player housing things on one of them in the crypt. But that was very basic. I was just literally walking around the rooms. But now you're like, this is the living, breathing world. This is the universe of Malorum. This is where we will be inhabiting and infesting. Because I can't say living, but yeah, we will be taking part in, and this is starting to come to shape. Like my favorite bit is like what you pointed out there already was with the moons.
Yeah,
and
the moons are
straight away that
cool.
tells you this isn't Earth. This
the moons
normal.
are so cool. Yeah, I dig the moons. I think it's cool that I dig the moons. I would say my own little fantasy, like cliche fantasy gripe, but this is just me nitpicking, obviously, is that they're very big and like oversized moons where I feel they should just be like tiny, like a normal human sized moon, but this isn't Earth, so it makes sense. But it's just a fantasy thing that's been there forever with huge moon, huge sun that you can visibly see, and to make it distinct or something. But it's super cool. I'm excited at how all that's going to play out with the like equinox or the seasons and the weather system that Dennis has been talking up for the past 3 years now. I'm excited for all that.
I like Varric's question of, as a wolf, which moon do we howl at?
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one, Varric. That's good.
That I found really, really interesting. Now, we will move along, much as we will. Do you know something? Will we leave this up? We leave this running up in the background?
I mean, yeah, we could. I don't know if you have any images you want to show or.
No, not because the next topic is the one I think you all should be here for, because I know Calypso is, because he's only after getting to listen to it.
Yeah, I like just it too, which is awesome.
Let's move on to the name of why we're here all this evening, Alaric's Nightmare.
Yeah, it's
so Calypso. There's no such thing as without spoilers. Just prefaced first off, if you have not listened to the latest radio play, you can go to deadhausesonata.com and listen. You can go to YouTube and listen. You can go to Spotify and listen. You can go to many places. Go check it out now. We will not be offended. All right? Because there's major spoilers incoming. Yes. We need to talk about this.
Yeah, exactly. This is your spoiler warning. If you are watching this on YouTube, pause it. Go listen. Or whatever on YouTube, go Spotify, whatever, pull up, and then come back to this. If you are listening to this on Spotify, pause this, pull up the Spotify for Deadhaus Sonata and play it there. Which is what I recommend.
Nightmares.
Yes, of Nightmares. It's the latest radio drama from Deadhaus Sonata, and it is a banger. It is so good. And yeah, so yes, pause, come back, and then we will still be here when you come back. So yes, do that now. If not, this is your spoiler warning. We're gonna get into it. You've been warned. Starts off with classic horror fashion of Alaric writing in his diary with a bunch of alcohol in his system, because that's the only way he can steadily write. And he's recounting. It must be, and he's recounting his nightmare that he had last night. And in that nightmare, he is in the body, whether he's having an outer body experience or he's inside the body of a strange creature, and he's notices that he's still in the same woods from the Of Liches episode. So it brings back to season 1 of the Of Liches episode.
No. He mentions that he sees the same thing that he's seen back then. He's actually in somewhere else that is like this dark place that he can't see.
Oh, yes, and there's a blue light. That's right. So there's a blue light that he has, that he notices, and it's like, I think it's in a cage or something.
Yeah, he can't quite see it. He just knows that there's a light emanating from him, because he can't move or control his body. In his exact words are, "It feels like I'm standing still with my neck craned, but the world is moving around me."
Oh, that's crazy. That's so crazy. And so that's happening. And as the creature looks around, we notice that there is a body trailing behind the creature. The bony hand like reaches up and like closes its fist and then the body falls to the ground, and then its essence or something gets sucked out, and the bony hand gets covered in that green light, and it slowly turns to this black, like obelisk pillar, and the hand starts to write on this pillar, drawing strange incantations and symbols. Okay, and then the creature, as well as us, the audience, and Alaric are peering into a window and get transported in a way to another time, be it the past, the present, the future. And within that other time and that other place that's going on right now is a battle, and the beginning of a battle. And you see a massive army of undead, as well as a beautiful city that I don't recall the name of right now. What's the city? Usilia,
because this is the height and what turns out to be the end of the Ustilian Empire.
Yes. Oh, and it's the coolest thing. So the Ustilian Empire. So we see that, and we see that the castle, the way that the castle or the kingdom or whatever is described. I was telling you this earlier before this episode. It's the coolest thing since the White City in Lord of the Rings, because the way this castle or huge area is described is that it is so tall and so massive and so shiny that it's almost like giant mirrors, that the place is made of giant mirrors. So that way, when any invading army tries to break down or invade Ustilia, it realizes that it cannot, that no matter how big the army, they cannot penetrate or break these walls and get into this city, because of just the way it's built, that the mirrors are like a symbolizing of that it is impossible to do so. You can bring 1,000,000 men and you will still not destroy this city. So that's Ustilia, that's the city. And then we get I believe that there is a giant undead army approaching.
No, that's what they said. It wasn't destroyed from without, but from within.
From within, yes. Yeah, that's so cool. It's a great line. That we see that there's a giant undead army approaching, I believe, and then we also get a description of the Lucian Templars, I believe, are the name.
Yep, the Lucian Templar.
The Lucian Templars, and it's also the coolest thing ever. Their helmets, they have like a chanting going on, but the way their helmets are designed or are done is, I believe, they're like giant like bell helmets, or like maybe like a huge like just dunce cap, or it kind of like resonates sound. So when this army is all, and like these Templars are all chanting like this mysterious chant that has no real words, it's just a noise, that it sounds like the echoes of bells, and just like giant bells ringing constantly.
They become living bells.
Living bells, yeah. Oh, so awesome. And then heading this army and going to lead this battle, or like helping them out, getting ready for it, and like basically their leader is the Burning One.
Oh yeah, he was there. He's more their savior.
Their savior,
because when they were in trouble, I think that's what it's. The way it comes across to me is they knew they were in trouble and they were trying to summon their hero.
Mm-hmm.
He's their kind of head honcho.
Yeah.
So representative of Elsa Baoth walking the land of Malorum.
Elsa Baoth, that's so cool, man. Like, the writing is so good. So this, yeah, that's right. You're right. That's what was going on. They were fighting this massive army of undead that were just charging them, and then the Burning One comes down. And the Burning One is very traditionally described anyway as traditional like Zeus kind of type, long flowing white hair, massive beard, chiseled face, looking like a big buff badass silver fox. And his armor is like golden and shiny and silvery and everything. And he reaches up his hand and he calls down lightning from the sky and uses it as like a big spear, or he turns it into a sword later on, and all this cool stuff. but he's helping them out, destroying, the undead and everything. And then all of a sudden, a big old dragon shows up for the opposite army. But this dragon, how can it fly when its wings are tattered and broken and destroyed, like the broken sails of a ship? But it
And
still
its
manages to fly, and its eyes are
weeping dark ichor.
yes. Oh, it's so awesome. And I believe this dragon opens up its mouth and releases a sickly green mist or fog of poison, and it starts to like poison the army from the first line or something. So much so, it does this so like it's so powerful that the jaw of the dragon falls off and just breaks, which is awesome. And then the burning one decides to, try to stop the dragon and everything, but I believe that the dragon transforms, if I'm not mistaken, in my hearing, into a dark figure with eyes.
In the description of it, so you've got the dragon coming along and he breathes out this like fog that like starts killing only the living, and then you've got the burning one. He does that whole thing where he claps his hands and blows away the smoke and all, and as the dragon is circling, and my favorite description is later on. It shows that it lands on the top of one of the temples, but because the place is all silver, its skin was hissing because it was like getting burned and whatnot from the silver. But the burning one ends up getting a lightning bolt and like striking it, and it looks like it gets destroyed, and all bits and goo of it like fall down in like this rain onto a particular part. But as that hits the ground, it turns into this weird ethereal smoke from which two silver eyes emerge. I think you're muted, sir.
Two silver eyes like coins. That's what I was saying. Cool, so cool. And then and that turns out to be the fetid prince, and it just
it's one of the most badass lines ever, where he turns and says, "Your aim was true, but your target was false."
Yeah. Oh, it's so good. And the voice actor, I'm sure the list is on there for the radio drama, but the voice actor for the fetid prince sounds incredibly familiar to me from other media. I just can't put my name on it or my finger on it or whatever. But the voice, it's so good. The voice acting is so good for the burning one and the fetid prince. They get into this sort of this philosophical conversation in the middle of battle of like, you can't stop death, you will always serve it.
The two voice actors are Kay Bale Foster and Kit Harrison.
Okay.
You looked them up. George Ledoux was kind enough to make sure to tag both of them and retweeted yesterday when it went live to see the guy, because Foster, Kay Bale Foster, managed to join us in the live stream chat when it was premiering on YouTube, which I thought was really cool. Because I know they're all very, very busy. So like the fact that anyone would come to say hello to us when we're watching this was amazing.
Author. Oh, apparently he's also an author. Kit Harrison is. But so they get into this philosophical talk of death and undead and living and everything like that. And it's a great conversation, as brief as it is. And then they get into a fight, and the burning one turns like a lightning bolt into a glowing sword of light, and the fetid prince.
And then he cheats later and dual wields. He just snaps it in half and makes two.
And the fetid prince, being the cool dude that he is, just closes his fist, and a smoky like ethereal sword comes out, and it's like a sword of shadow. So you literally have light and darkness, or light and shadow, life and death, essentially fighting each other in like in an awesome battle. Like the symbolism there is awesome.
It's endlessly quotable. Like the one to the fetid prince to the burning one. The burning one had said, "I'm not going to quote it one for one because again, go watch it."
Yeah.
But the burning one is angry, and the fetid prince said, "Those that silence do not seek truth."
Yeah.
Those that choose to silence do not seek truth. And then they say, what is it? Lies, truth, and all like that. It's all a matter of perspective.
Yeah, it's great. There's a line that I think the Burning one says, and he's like, even if I, paraphrasing, obviously, it's like, even if I fall in battle, um, I will like rise again,
Mhm.
and to defeat you or something, like you can't
Yeah.
defeat me. And then the fetid prince replies with, um, no matter what you do, you will always like serve death. You
All
will
serve death in
all
the
serve
end.
death in the end. Yeah, it's so
Even
good, man.
you.
Yeah, it's so good. It's so good. And then after that epic battle, or that epic fighting, something strange happens. The fetid prince turns his head while we're witnessing this vision, or this
Blast from
memory
the past.
blast from the past. Turns his head and looks directly at uh the strange creature, or the lich maybe, as well as Alaric, and says, you are being watched. And he like points his eye or something,
The
and
Lich panics, asking
the lich's
how,
like,
and he
how?
just does this. He just two fingers up to his eye, and the
Yeah.
Lich literally does the tablet zoom in and looks at the eye. And what does he see, Calypso?
I believe he sees Alaric's face.
Hmm.
Or yeah, and then Alaric, wakes up in a cold sweat from this strange nightmare. Oh, it was just a nightmare. It couldn't have been real. Blah blah blah. And he also has some revelations that, like the undead, that maybe the living are, or that the fall of of oh my gosh, I
Stilia.
already Ustilia, thank you. That the fall of like Ustilia, yes, it was not from without, it was from within. But the things that Alaric was told from their histories and everything were maybe a lie, and that something else
Yeah.
happened with
He mentioned,
Ustilia.
yeah, he mentions that in the fight against the dead, that their gods had abandoned them
Yeah,
in the
but
first
they didn't,
battles, and it
because we
turns
see
out
that from the
no, they
burning one.
didn't. They were defeated.
Yeah. So maybe to keep the morale of the humans going, they had to lie about it. Or maybe some people are working for Deadhouse. That was my theory, that from within, Deadhouse somehow manages to make their way into Ustilia, and it's just an ongoing thing, that there's a big conspiracy with maybe the Thasian Empire going on there
Well,
as well. But that's all just me
it doesn't
speculating.
even need to be that complicated. So first
Mm.
off, you're not going to admit that your god got his butt kicked. Like straight off, because
Also
that means
true.
your god's
Yeah.
not that powerful. Then when we were discussing this lore implications in the little after, because we always go into the Discord afterwards, have a little bit of lore discussion and debate. And someone asked, does that mean that Deadhouse will now be coming after Alaric because they know that he's spying on them and all? And I pointed out, but the fetid prince has always known. This is 200 years in the past. This was long
Yeah.
before Alaric was born. The fetid prince already knew. And if you look at the steps that were taken, the things that have happened throughout season 1 and 2, it's almost like Deadhouse needed something that it was not going to be able to accomplish itself. So a lich was tasked with getting Alaric to create something
Dun dun
inside their
dun.
empire that Deadhouse could then use to destroy the human empire and take hold of.
Bum bum. The plot thickens.
Because they couldn't resurrect the whites, but the
Yeah.
humans could.
Mm.
They are the ability to create them, rather.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
tools required to create them. So
It's all
there's a
part of the
lot of
puzzle.
stuff there, because it's all done within this. Because Dennis pointed that out as well, with his fascination with how he does things with eternalism, I believe he called it.
Mm-hmm.
Let me double check here, about how these things are not secret. You did not change timelines. Anything that happens was supposed to happen.
Okay, so it's destiny in a way. It's fate that this or that's going to happen. And if you really think about it, the fetid prince is kind of right. Like, even if you want to stop it, you can't. Eventually, you will die. You will serve death. Everybody dies in the end. There's no
Yeah, it's
escaping
about the
it.
philosophy of time called eternalism.
Yeah, yeah.
That's what it was.
because I just know Dennis hates time travel. That's the only reason time travel is probably not going to
So
show up.
if you not so much time travel, there will be other things that maybe you witness parts of the past or something
Mhm.
to that effect. You didn't do anything. You were supposed to, because you were the one that is fated in some prophecy to change something. So that is the way the timeline is supposed to go. There is no
Yeah.
deviations in timeline. Everything, it even says it in the Necro. Everything that has is already, what is it? Everything that already
Mm,
has already is, or
something like
everything
that.
that has
Everything that
been or ever will be already is.
is, yeah, everything that was or will be is
Yeah.
already there.
So the
Yeah,
whole point
something.
is you'll notice a lot of this is very much reflected in what they're talking about in Seven Sons and Twilight.
Mm. Which is cool. You guys can read that on the Necro Libriatus on the Deadhaus Sonata website in the media section under lore. Click on the media tab. But that's like I want to talk about the Lich a little bit more.
Do.
And that it's like I think, well, credit to Dennis and Jack and the other writers who have like kind of planned this out from the beginning. Like, oh, this is just the first episode of Lich is just a cheeky introduction to what a Lich character or class is representative of, and then we kind of get that fleshed out. But you can. This is going to be one of those things, especially for the radio dramas, that when we eventually get to the end of however long it's going to last, that we should be able to go back and listen to the first episodes of Vampires, Revenants, whatever, and be like, oh, Stars Above, now I get it, and just how it sort of just everything just kind of folds in on itself and works that kind of way. I think the Lich part, especially in that we now know that Alaric is kind of mind linked to the Lich, and you can witness that in the first episode of Liches, but you don't know it yet, but you do now. Yeah.
I just have to laugh. Tem put it there. All you need to know is that hundreds of years before Alaric was born, he viewed the fight between two avatars through the eyes of a powerful lich. Yes and no. He didn't do it years before he was born. Now he's seen through the eyes of a lich who seen hundreds of years ago.
Yeah.
220, if I'm correct. If my math is correct and serves me right, it says
Well, at least it's
220
not
years after that, year
220
220.
years. That's what I like. See, I'm glad that whatever the year it is, it's 220 years or something. It's more plausible than being like 1,000 years in the past or like 1,500 years before whatever.
I
But
take you can all gather from the radio play as well. What's the main point that the fetid prince, the message he wanted to give to the other
to
god,
the
to
burning
your
one,
master? He said, "I have a
that's
message for your master, your lord."
you can't. It's inevitable. You can't win this fight. Is that what it
No,
is?
he says, "Deadhaus rises."
Ah, yes. That's
So
what it was.
right then is the 0 AD, 0 after Deadhaus.
Ah. Oh, now I get it. Stars above. See, and now the years actually make sense.
Mm-hmm.
So when Alaric is 218 after Deadhaus or 221 after Deadhaus, the year of this year, like that's
We are
what he's
playing by
talking
new.
about.
Yeah, he says we are playing new rules now, baby. Yeah, he doesn't know this because don't forget, there's also a very salient point that Varric brought to my attention. The ghoul says to Alaric multiple times, "You see more than you think, and you think what is it? You know more than you
More than you
realize."
realize, yeah, something. But it's like we don't, which is kind of a fourth wall break if you think about it.
Well, he
You
does say,
know,
he's seen my image through so many different. What did he call it? Through so many different frames.
yeah, which it's like and then I guess kind of brings it back around to we can go back and listen to these or everything and like be open to what we realize, knowing that it was been there the entire time and we just didn't know it. We didn't realize that this was this or that was that, which is good writing and good storytelling. Yeah.
That's one of the most important points. It's like, now, can you see why I was so excited and waiting for so long for everyone to hear this?
Yeah.
Because
I
this
can
is
definitely
the
see it. 'Cause
Hail
this is
Mary pass of
awesome.
stories.
Yeah. It's so cool, man. Like it's great. It's so it's I can't honestly, it was really like, this is probably my favorite episode right now. Like I really loved the vampire blood episode. I thought that one was really cool. But this is probably my favorite so far. Yeah. Cause like the battle scene and the dialogue between the fetid prince and the burning one. The burning one is also the coolest name for a god like ever. The leper, isn't there a leper god as well in
Oh,
the
he's for
in the
someone
necro?
else.
Ah, okay.
He's
So
the ascendant for someone else.
okay, so it's so cool. This
Because the burning one is the ascendant for Alcibiade.
okay, Elsa by
I like the fact that the avatar, the Burning Man, was stabbed and killed by the same type of weapon that killed Nagaztek. Yes and no. There's that weird description about that, but yeah, there is a connection. Remember that? There is that in the description about what kills Nagaztek in the Necro in Seven Suns in Twilight. Or not so much what kills him, but he got a wound, and he describes a similar damage to what the Burning One.
I might be reaching now, and I think I'm overthinking it, but Nagaztak, it could be an anagram for something, but I'm probably just reaching.
It's Dennis. It's Dennis. We know what he's been like in past games. We'll discover the secret to that name in 4.5 years.
Yeah. But no, the burning one is really cool. The fetid prince, everything is so good. Like George obviously knocked it out of the park again.
Oh, amazing work all around from all of them.
Oh yeah.
Like George's voice and the words he's reading, like they just paint a picture. Like you forget, like I've sat and listened to that on Spotify, and it like everything has melted away and you could just see it in your mind's eye. You even forget you're listening to a story. It's just beautifully done.
That's why I love weighted dramas.
The White Knight was just nicked by a blade that describes the same kind of black vein spreading from the wound. Exactly. It's almost like something happens to this White Knight.
I gotta go back and listen to this again. Maybe for the next radio drama we could do a live listen. But then again, do you think that would be too redundant, repetitive of the previous ones?
We'll see. Well, live listen, don't forget, most of these are like half an hour long. And if we're stopping every like 2 sentences to comment on what's going on, we're probably looking at an hour and a half's worth of stream.
Yeah.
But hey, I'm game.
Me too. Me too. But like, see, now it just Dennis, it just it opens up the possibilities of what I want to see next, where this could go, what's going on. I need answers, man. I need answers. I need all of it. I don't
need sleep. I need answers.
Yeah, exactly. I have 5 more episodes. I need answers.
Oh, the next one I think will be quite the charm.
Yeah. Because this knocked it out of the park. This was so good. Like now, could you imagine if this was the prologue to everything? Like this.
Oh, the prologue's even better.
Oh man!
But that's something to be saved for another time. I could say that because in the little after party stream discussion, Dennis had jumped in to say hello to everyone, and he had kind of dropped the hint about that like Of Nightmares wasn't the only one, that there was another one that he was thinking about as the prologue to the game. That's really interesting. Now I know what that is, but no information has been released publicly, and it's really good. You'll like it. It sounds more like Dennis is writing an epic tale at the length of Lord of the Rings, just for backdrop and filler of the game. For world building, yes. because this seems to be how
Oh yeah.
Dennis does stuff. He has done absolutely amazing. Ah, yeah, we even talked about the Calypso protocol.
To be
Calypso
fair,
protocol.
the Calypso protocol. To be fair, the Callisto protocol also in the I don't want to smack talk anything because I'm actually enjoying it. I'm actually enjoying that game. But
Hey, if you're enjoying it, that's what's important. That's
yeah,
what I
the
always say to
Callisto
anyone.
protocol had a better than it had any right to be radio drama prequel that set up some world building, set up the sort of little prequel bit to the starting of the game that sets everything else up. It's 6 episodes long. It's on Spotify. It's got an A+ cast, and it's a solid radio drama. It's like as good as Deadhouse is, that is also great. And I'm kind of bummed that that seems to be the best part about the Callisto Protocol is the little radio
I'm
drama
just
prequel that they did, but I'm enjoying the game.
I'm just waiting for other people to start picking up Deadhouse because
Oh yeah.
I've a feeling this year will be the year that a lot of people will discover Deadhouse and will see it as because more and more stuff will be coming out about it, and it'll
Mhm.
probably be a lot more vocal. Well, we will be a lot more vocal anyway,
Yeah.
myself and yourself, when they see these types of images and video and all like that. And then they've a lot of lore digging to do already, and just getting into that, they're going to have quite the catch up to do.
Oh
And
yeah.
I don't think they're going to be used to that, Calypso, because most games, unless you're talking about D&D or something, most things don't have this level of background even
No.
before the game is out. Like this
Or
isn't
it's
fan
oh
fiction
yeah.
written after the fact. This is world building for a game that has yet to release.
Yeah. It's gonna be the World of Warcraft effect where if you just get into World of Warcraft, now you have so much lore to dive into to really flesh into this game, but all that stuff came out after the fact. Like they didn't start
Yeah.
releasing World of Warcraft novels and whatever else until after literally World of Warcraft, to sort of bank on that success. But like, is it going to be? That's a question. Is it going to be too much? Because it's like it's like the lore for Diablo. Like I love Diablo 1 and Diablo 2, and I'm looking forward to Diablo 4, despite everything that's been going on with Blizzard and all that crap.
Hmm.
But there is so much lore to dive into for the Diablo series that you can completely bypass if you want. You don't have to read or
Hmm.
look up any of that crap if you don't want to. But I feel for Deadhouse, you kind of might have to, maybe.
Well, I
But
feel
then again,
like
that I don't
I
know.
can see Deadhouse being similar to Warframe in regard that you'll be able to jump in and play and just completely ignore all the lore. But this, unlike Warframe, is very narrative driven. So you will get far more enjoyment out of it if you are a lore junkie. And if
Yeah.
you do like exploring all of this, like outside of that, yes, it will still be a very good ARPG, but it'll be the lore hounds that like Dennis's type of work, whether you've been around to experience the likes of, Blood Omen or Eternal Darkness, or you haven't, but this is up your alley. This is your darkly inclined taste. You will love every moment of the world that's being built. Heck, we're after sitting through, what is it now? Like at the moment, it's like 2.5 hours for season 2 of radio play.
Yeah.
Like season 2 is going to be like nearly like 3 hours or something by the time this is all done. That's radio dramas for world building, and that's one season.
That's bonkers, man. That's bonkers. And I
Like,
think that
and that's fully fleshed out stories. That's not just like
yeah,
someone random reading off a list of crap that exists in Malort.
yeah,
Like these are
see,
genuine stories.
yeah, no pausing the game for an hour while you read a literal textbook as much as I love the Elder Scrolls.
I was going to say, not looking at Skyrim in particular or any
Yeah,
of that.
like, and did you know, sidetrack really quick, did you know that someone there's a YouTube channel that literally has taken all the books from uh Arena, Daggerfall, Morrowind, Oblivion, and Skyrim, cut out the ones that are repeated, of course, and has done them all as audiobooks. And
I'm
it's a
not surprised. I'm a little like shocked, like, wow, someone actually did that. But
yep,
of course someone did that
yep.
because
There's a whole YouTube channel about it, and I think there's even a mod that that does it for Skyrim, where it takes some of those audio recordings and just puts them in game to where you can just listen to the long ass book instead of reading it,
Skyrim's
which is
not long
cool.
enough already.
I
Like,
know. What have you been doing for 100 hours reading in my video game? This novel about a
still
lusty
haven't
Argonian maid.
I still haven't got out of Whiterun yet. Why? I'm just too many books.
Gosh, it's like playing The Witch. It's like the people who've never played the Witcher series and jumping into 3 and then realize they have to just open up a giant glossary of a dictionary to understand what's going on.
To be fair, I have 2 versions of that in real life. I have the strategy guide and like a glossary thing of the game, which kind of functions as a lore/art book.
Yeah.
They're amazing. They're huge, which I really look
I
forward
bet.
to seeing how that turns out for the Necro.
Oh, same. That's gonna be that's gonna be cool. That's gonna be cool. Like
From
I'm
what I know
excited.
of Dennis, there will be secrets relevant to the game that are only in the books. That you will be able to use the book to find stuff in the game.
That's cool.
But is not mentioned or said anywhere in the game. Like example, let's say, like this isn't it, I'm just pulling stuff off the top of my head here. Like if you go to this area and pull this lever and then go to this other area and pull this lever and then go to this area, this door will be opened for surprises.
Yeah.
You know? It'll be something like that, and it'll detail it, but it'll be written in Futhark on like a note on the side of a page.
Of course it will.
You know?
Of course it will. I'm most excited, I think, for the official World of Malorum cookbook. That's what I'm looking forward to. That way I can make, ghoul lash officially. Yeah, it'll be high quality stuff.
You want to be careful, ain't you, in Florida?
Yeah, I am.
I'm just having visions of bath salts and people getting in trouble in graveyards.
Also true. That'll be one of the ingredients.
By Ghoul Ramsey. I think Sundowner had a meme for that.
Oh, that'll be good. 100 ways to cook man.
To cook for many men.
Yes. To cook for many men.
Although with that, I think it's about time we wrap this up for the beginning, not the beginning, the end of the beginning.
Yes.
Because again, yay, we made it to season 4.
That's right. Yes. Happy New Year, everyone. Completely. Yes. Happy New Year.
I didn't even think we'd keep going this long, but here we are.
Here we are.
We will be going on much further after this game releases. Because like I said, again, another point, Deadhaus, the first stage, will not be launching in 2023. That doesn't mean there isn't stuff coming for 2023. Because I'm looking forward to seeing even what's going to be coming out for that, because there's talks of some things. I could see some things getting updated or coming out, which will be very interesting. But that means we're also then one step closer to when it is releasing.
And that is a step everyone, I think, is going to take with us. So with that said, I've been Calypso, Faceless Mike. Fight the living, everyone. And we will see you in the next one.
See you.